I believe that I've always been gay. I've never known anything different. I believe that the makeup of my soul is intertwined with my orientation. Just like someone who's heterosexual, I believe that is also the makeup of their soul. I can remember back to when I was 6 years old, starting to have these inclinations of being attracted to those members of the same sex. And I never really acknowledged that to myself. I always thought that it was something that I would grow out of, something that I would mature out of, that it was just maybe an unusual part of my maturation process. I even looked to my mission as something that would ultimately cure me of this tendency. And I never acknowledged to myself what this tendency was. I never said in my mind I'm gay or I have same-sex attraction. It was always a very repressed denial that I thought would always go away. And it wasn't until I was probably 22 or 23 years old when it finally really came crashing down, and I said to myself, something's got to give here, something's got to change. I'm not outgrowing this, and this is very concerning to me. I really thought that if I dated women more, the more I tried to pursue relationships with women, I would ultimately come across the relationship that would actually make things happen, that would stir up those emotions that would happen. I dated a lot in high school. I can remember my junior year, I made it a personal goal to go to every single school-sponsored dance. And I was successful at that, and I tried so hard. I took out a different girl every time thinking, okay, I didn't feel it with this girl. Let's see if I can feel it with this girl. And I remember specifically a date I had my junior year. I really focused on asking out one of the most attractive girls in the school, and she wore for the evening, she wore a very revealing dress that really was stunning to everybody else and did absolutely nothing for me. And I look back on that and chuckle, thinking, you know, what an irony that was. And I always remember my interactions on those dates being very fun. I enjoyed dating. I especially enjoyed dating when there was less pressure. I recall specifically in college, when I was on study abroad in the Middle East, one of our rules with the BYU program was there was to be no dating, that it was just to stay on the friendship level because we were there to learn about the Middle East, we were there to study and not to get distracted by soap opera love issues. And I loved that because it removed all the pressure for me. That was probably the perfect type of social setting for me where I could have a lot of fun and build a lot of friendships with girls, and I did. And have no pressure for anything intimate or anything romantic. And I think I flirted a lot with girls in high school and in college, and nothing ever came about that other than probably a lot of confused women wondering what I was all about.
What about the flip side? Do you remember feeling anything for guys in high school or in your mission? Or
absolutely.
college?
I think I always, in middle school and high school, had multiple crushes going on at the same time. I can't hone in on one because I think in my mind I was training myself not to get too intertwined in that because that wasn't good or that was something that I would grow out of. I do recall one person on my mission of the same sex who I definitely had a crush on and felt feelings for. And that was very, very frustrating for me because it was kind of this torturous dilemma to be in, to have these kind of feelings, yet know that that was completely not only unacceptable, but off limits, and to many, very, very perverse. So all of my life, I've always had those crushes. As long as I can remember, I've only been attracted to members of the same sex. I've never had any connection with members of the opposite sex in a romantic way. And I would say that the attraction goes much deeper than the physical attraction. I think a lot of people misunderstand the issue of homosexuality to be about sex or to be about something shallow or just not very, very in-depth. And to me, That connection is physical, of course, but it's also spiritual, it's emotional, it's personal. And I click much more in those ways with members of the same sex, and I don't have that click with women. I click with women on the friendship level only, and that's all it's ever been. With men, I click on many, many more fronts, far beyond sexual attraction.
Any thoughts on the stereotype that it's related to a domineering mom, or you know, being abused, or any quick thoughts on either confirming or dispelling those types of stereotypes?
I think when I first came out, there were a lot of people who were very, very surprised and very, very shocked to find out that I was gay, because my upbringing was about as Mormon as it gets. I think a lot of people pictured my family as the picture-perfect poster child family. I can't think of anything in my upbringing or any negative or impactful experience in my life that would have any impact on my sexual orientation of any fashion. As far as I can reach and as far as I can comprehend, my upbringing in my life has been extremely mainstream and extremely devout to the credentials of Mormonism.